Welcome. We're out at Captain Fitzgerald Park, where we are in year 6 of cutting back the only stand of knotweed in the 66 acres of land. And Kurt and I have both been on the Conservation Commission for, well, I've been here for 7 years, but Kurt has been here for
17 or so.
Yeah. So we bring a lot of experience to this, but basically we're cutting down a weed that if given free license, will shade out all the other vegetation that is beneath it. And when we started this, how big was it, Kurt?
It filled this whole area, went beyond those bushes and the trees, but it was in around the trees back there, so it was quite a large patch. But we've been coming back every year and cutting down as much as we can. Has to be bagged up, because if you leave it on the ground, it will propagate more plants. And then we just keep coming back and hoping that the following year we have a lot less than we did the previous year. And this year's results seem pretty good.
Yeah, and so far that seems to be happening. This is a sandplain grassland, which is a rare and endangered type of habitat. And it is rich with blueberries, and it's rich with birds as well. And if the knotweed were to begin to take over, and if the knotweed got set, it would take over. It would shade out all the blueberries, and it would shade out a lot of the food source for a lot of the birds here. And I can't remember, I could go back and look, but I can't remember. There are 3 or 4 endangered species which summer here. It's a wonderful place for bird watchers, and it's also a wonderful place for walkers. This used to be the radar station for the old Naval Air Base, but it's now been left to blueberries. And so if you come out here in July, you can pick quarts of blueberries rapidly. We are at least working with the knotweed, which could take it over if left to its own devices.
This has sort of become a crusade for the Conservation Commission. We try to get out here once a year, and so far I've done that, and it seems to be working.
We take inspiration as well, because if you drive the roads to Harpswell, or you drive almost anywhere in town now, and you see this knotweed growing, it's taken over whole roadsides. And once it grows to about 10 feet high, and once it has a full canopy, it shades out everything below it, and so everything that's underneath the knotweed dies, including these blueberry bushes, for instance. So it, as Kurt said, it's a bit of a crusade. We see it as noble work.
Yes.
Yeah, it was interesting when we started this, we all looked it up online, and there was a picture of a knotweed plant growing through a road of tarmac, just popped up through, and it had just punched right up through.
Currently, right now, the Conservation Commission has an open spot, so if anybody is interested in some of the stuff we do besides removing invasives at 2 or 3 sites around town, is monitor conservation easements that the town holds on properties to make sure that there aren't any violations. We do like to get out in the field as often as possible. If a developer wants to have some conservation property as part of a development, we'll go and look that over and give some guidance and see if that's something either the town wants to take on, or have an easement, or make any recommendations about perhaps better situated boundaries and so on. There's also about 30 some odd properties that the town owns that the Conservation Commission is responsible for oversight on, so we keep an inventory of those and get out and check them every so often to make sure everything's still good on those properties.